Welcome to November 2024 astrology, my beautiful friend. This is going to be a bit of a roller coaster transitional month. Why do I say this? We have 5 planets changing signs. Saturn is changing directions, moving direct. Mercury is going retrograde. Pluto is finally moving into Aquarius for good, taking us into a brand new future-focused, inventive, find your tribe era. And we have a wild card, potentially disruptive, definitely illuminating and enlightening full moon in Taurus. This and more I'm excited to share with you in part 1 of this video. I am going to be going through each of the transits, the key dates, and how we can best move through these energies with the most ease and grace. And in part 2, I will be doing readings for all 12 signs, covering the key transits for each of the rising signs. And as always, pulling an oracle card for each of the signs as well. Be sure you watch part 1 of this video because if you skip ahead to your 12 sign readings, you are going to miss some of the most significant astrology of the month. Before I jump in, I want to say hello and welcome if you have just found the channel. I love empowering you through Western tropical astrology. This is a like-minded community. You have found your tribe. Be sure and subscribe so you don't miss a video. 2025 is going to be a standout year full of incredible change. We haven't seen anything yet. And I will be guiding you through all of the changes. So if you have not yet subscribed, this is the time to tap the subscribe button. And while you're at it, give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I love connecting with you. Welcome back to all of you enthusiastic friends who've been watching my videos. I so appreciate you. I'm Betsy Gutting. I am a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. I do astrology consultations. It is my joy to meet you on Zoom. Stay tuned till the end of the video. I will tell you more about my astrology readings as well as my coaching offerings. And I have a free gift for you. Stay tuned to the end to find out how to get your free gift. I also write about the astrology between videos. So if you would like to get my weekly inspirational astrology updates, the astrology between videos, go to my website, subscribe for free, and you will get that free instant download gift right away. November 3rd, when this video goes live, we are in the aftermath of the intense Scorpio moon, featuring an opposition between Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees. If you have felt intense emotions over the past week, my friend, I want to validate for you that you are so not alone, because right now, as I'm filming this video on November 2nd, we have 5 planets in water. Do you know how heavy that is emotionally? 5 planets in water. Not only is this a dark moon, and dark moons by their nature take us inward, they are quite reflective. We can feel moody, we can feel down, we can feel defeated even. And I've noticed in my client readings over the past week or two that people have felt especially either forlorn, discouraged, or lost. What's my direction? Where am I going? I don't have clarity. These are the kinds of things that people have been sharing with me. And you could also have been having intense dreams. We are clearly going through a skin shedding, very scorpionic time at the beginning of November. This is a time of endings and completions. And if it feels dark to you, know that we are heading toward the light. By November 3rd, one of those planets in water will have moved into fire. Mercury is going to move into Sagittarius, and this is, I think, in and of itself going to be uplifting. Sagittarius energy is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter feels expansive, often hopeful, often refreshing. Not only this, but Mercury in Sagittarius will have a mutual reception with Jupiter in Gemini. What does this mean? It means that Mercury in Sag, being a Jupiter-ruled sign, is simpatico with Jupiter, which is in a Mercury-ruled sign. So even though Mercury in Sag and Jupiter in Gemini are opposing one another, and oppositions can feel like you're not being supported, it can feel like somebody on the other side is pushing against you in some way. When the planets, as they will be, Mercury in Sag, Jupiter in Gemini, are in mutual reception, the differences between the Sag and Gemini energies soften. We see more of our commonalities, and there are a lot of commonalities between Gemini and Sag. So this is good news for our thinking, beginning to be more hopeful, expansive, optimistic, and overall just bringing our thoughts more into the light rather than in sort of the mucky waters of Scorpio energy where Mercury has been up until November 2nd. On November 3rd, we have another planet moving into fire. Can you tell I love fire energy? Fire is associated with inspiration, positive transformation. Mars, which has been in watery, protective, a little more cautious Cancer, this Mars is now going to move out of Cancer into Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. It rules our hearts. Leo helps us to find our inner strength, but it also tends to expand our confidence and our courage. Synchronistically, Mars in Leo is also going to be in mutual reception with the sun. The sun in Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. And Mars in Leo, Leo is ruled by the sun. So this means even with the sun still in watery, deep, sometimes dark Scorpio, the conversation, the energy flowing between the sun and Mars will be more simpatico. There will be more understanding. Now, all of this said, we want to keep in mind that Mars is going to go retrograde on December 6th, and it will begin its retrograde in Leo. It will then retrograde back into Cancer, and the retrograde will not end until February 23rd. This means that the boost in energy of confidence and courage that you may be feeling in November, this is the time to take advantage of it. This is the time to begin something that your heart really wants, because in early December, when Mars and Leo begins to retrograde backward, our energy is going to become more internal. Sometimes during a Mars retrograde, we have less motivation and drive. Just something to keep in mind. Now, by November 5th, we have 4 planets in fire. We're going to have 4 planets in fire by November 5th. And of course, November 5th is the US election. It is being watched not just by people in the US, but all over the world because, well, for a lot of reasons. We are at a huge turning point in our history. So I'm not going to go into the politics of it, but I will say that Mars in Leo is going to add drama. There's definitely an electrical wildcard energy. Anything can happen. The outcome of this election feels very much up in the air, which doesn't surprise me given the fact that the full moon in Taurus, November 15th, is conjunct Uranus, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But one thing that I'm sensing, especially because of the Mars in Cancer opposition to Pluto in Capricorn, and that is exact on November 3rd, 2 days before the election, it's bringing more conflict. It is bringing more unthinkable actions on the part of people, such as people burning the ballot boxes in Washington State, where I'm living now. That blew me away, that people would set ballot boxes on fire. Given that we're just coming out of the Mars opposition Pluto transit, and then we are moving directly into Mars in Leo, this is going to be a dramatic election, no question. Now, I am calling November 11th a power day. Why is this? First of all, Venus is going to change signs. Venus is going to move into Capricorn. I think this will be grounding for us. Venus rules love, money, beauty, pleasure, comforts, all the delicious things in life. In Capricorn, that Venus is quite ambitious. She is looking to what is the next mountain that I can climb? Where can I feel successful? What do I want to commit to next in my life? Venus and Saturn ruled Capricorn is often focused on work, on career, and what needs to get done. In matters of love and the heart, Venus and Capricorn would say, only the sincerely committed need apply, and they better have their shit together. So if you want to woo him during Venus and Capricorn, or you want to woo her, you better do some serious courting, because Venus and Capricorn is traditional. And her love language is acts of service. So this is together, we can build a solid, sustainable foundation. Now, November 11th is also a power day because it is the 1111 portal. So be open on this day. It's a great day to tap into your higher consciousness, to commune with your soul, to bring those divine downloads into your consciousness and work on a plan. Formulate your next steps or a next step. The very same day, Mercury in Sag is going to square Saturn retrograde in Pisces. And to me, this is Mercury in Sag. What is true for me? What do I believe in? What am I ready to move forward on? Squaring Saturn retrograde in Pisces, which is showing us any pattern that it's time for us to release around procrastination or self-doubt or self-sacrifice. Mercury square Saturn can feel like an inner conflict. It can feel like it's hard to make a decision, but maybe there's a third option that we haven't considered. This is also a good day, 11/11, to notice any theme that is coming through around this Mercury, because Mercury will be going retrograde on November 25th, which I will also be getting to shortly. November 15th will be another palpable shift. We are going to have the full moon in Taurus at 24 degrees. So those of you who have planets or points between 19 and 29 degrees of the fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Leo, you will feel this full moon most intensely. I will do a separate video for you on the full moon, as I do for all the lunations. But in a nutshell, what I love about this full moon is that it is in Taurus and the moon is exalted in Taurus. In Venus-ruled Taurus, we want the deliciousness of life. This is when it can feel extra wonderful to be in a physical body. All of our senses get to delight in the delicious food, the cotton sheets, the furry blankets. You get the idea. In Taurus energy, we're building self-reliance. We want stability. We want to manifest our best life in a material way. However, with Uranus making a conjunction, this is wildcard energy. It can be disruptive. At its best, we get the wonderful epiphany. We get the aha moment. We feel freed. We feel enlightened. That's the best way that Uranus can play out. At its worst, something really super annoying or frustrating or disruptive can happen. And with Mercury retrograde coming 10 days after this, I would definitely be thinking about your devices and backing them up, because Uranus is an electrical energy. Also with Uranus, we can't predict it. Believe me, I have already gone through this because this moon is making an aspect to my moon. I've already gone through all the possibilities in my head about what this could be, what could the potential shock or breakdown could be. And it will be something that I have not thought of, because that is Uranus. I'll let you know what the outcome happens to be. But with Uranus, we rarely can predict what we think might be the uncomfortable surprise that could come with this moon. That said, on the very same day that this full moon is exact in Taurus, November 15th, very same day, Saturn in Pisces is going to station direct. So how is that for synchronicity? For the past 4.5 months, while Saturn has been retrograde, we have been internally deciding and getting clarity on what we want to commit to, what's most important to us, what boundaries do we need to set in this Pisces area of our life. Now that Saturn is moving direct, all of that internal focus about our commitments, about accountability and boundaries, it will now be time for us to apply the learning, the Saturn lessons, the internal Saturn lessons, apply them to our external lives. And when Saturn stations direct, we can sometimes feel it through a karmic test or some sense of karmic reckoning. So, not surprisingly, with a full moon conjunct Uranus and Saturn turning direct on the same day, something will likely be completed for us that is connected to a relationship or a soul lesson that we would call karmic. November 19th is going to be momentous. This is a day to celebrate. Why? Because Pluto is going to leave Capricorn, the sign of the status quo. What are the authorities saying? What are the rules that I have to follow? How have things always been done? Pluto's going to leave this energy and move into future-focused Aquarius, the sign that is connected to the cosmic intelligence. This is the sign of the humanitarian. This is find your tribe energy. It's connected to the 11th house, which is our hopes, wishes, and dreams, our friendships, our long-term financial gains. We are leaving Pluto in Capricorn, which has been about burning off karma for a lot of us, and we are shifting into Aquarius, which is focus on a brand new vision, because we are brand new people. We have evolved tremendously over the past 15 years. And because the shift is so big, we are moving into a brand new era. Pluto does define generations. For many of us, this is going to feel like a brand new life chapter or even a whole new life. Also, quick little preview of the 2025 astrology. In late August and early September of 2025, we are going to have Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, and Uranus in Gemini, all harmonizing around 1 degree. They will all be within minutes of each other, late August, early September. And this is huge, my friend, in terms of ushering us into another big shift of consciousness. And of course, the technological innovations are going to be off the charts. We're already seeing that. But when Uranus gets into Gemini, I will do a separate video for you on that transit because it's so huge. But when Uranus moves into air sign Gemini and Pluto already in air as well, the world as we know it is going to look vastly, vastly different. This is quantum leap energy. Now, I think this is my favorite day of the month. My favorite day of the month is November 21st when the sun enters Sagittarius. With the sun entering the fire sign of Sagittarius, this is more optimism and hope, festive, freedom-loving, spiritually seeking. Sag is also the sign of the sage. It is my belief that in Sag energy, we can have more fun. That is my belief. And also with Mars and Leo at the same time. Because what Sag does not love a good party? Just saying. Now, what makes this ingress of the sun into Sagittarius even more powerful, the same day, November 21st, that the sun enters Sagittarius, it's going to immediately make a beautiful, harmonious sextile to Pluto in Aquarius. This is empowerment. This is very supportive of us moving through something that may feel difficult or challenging because we are up-leveling. It's super supportive of going to the next level of fulfillment and success in this area of your life. And when we do the 12 sign readings, I'm going to tell you in which area of your life this sextile will play out. Sextiles bring solutions, new opportunities. They help us to manifest something real, something tangible. So I love the magic that the sun and Pluto will make on the 21st. Not only this, but on November 22nd, Venus and Capricorn, and remember, Venus rules the things that we love, money, beauty, pleasure, comforts, all the good stuff. Venus and Capricorn is going to make a sextile, another positive flowing aspect to Saturn direct now in Pisces. So this is very supportive of a long-term plan. It's also supportive of calling in a mentor, perhaps meeting somebody around this time who is a teacher, a wise leader, even a benefactor. Someone who really sees you for the truth of who you are and celebrates and supports your blossoming potential. And this is really synchronistic and cool too. The very same day, November 22nd, Mars in Leo at 4 degrees, which is a number of structure, planning, earthly support. Mars in Leo is going to harmonize with the North Node of Destiny and the South Node of Fate. This is very supportive for a long-term soulmate relationship, maybe meeting somebody around that time, or releasing a karmic soul contract that has been completed with a person, a situation, or a job, and so forth. And by the way, the 22nd, November 22nd, that also is a spiritual master builder number. So that is feeling like a very, very supportive, synchronistic, auspicious date for taking at least one step in the direction of your long-term plan that is going to help you create a solid, sustainable foundation. November 25th, Mercury, the planet of communication, transportation, travel planning, our cars, our devices, our short trips. Mercury is going to station retrograde in the fire sign of Sagittarius at 22 degrees, that master builder number. So you can see this month, we are working on building a foundation that brings us stability. And this began at the beginning of the month with the November 1st new moon in Scorpio. That was trine Saturn. So this whole month, we are focused, future focused, Pluto in Aquarius, on building something that will bring us a sense of security and stability in life. And what does Mercury retrograde help us with? It helps us to review our plans. It helps us to clear clutter, especially from our devices, but any kind of clutter, emotional clutter, physical, spiritual even, Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. Maybe there's a belief that you will be shedding during this Mercury retrograde. If you're someone who does holiday shopping, you may want to do that extra early this year. The pre-shadow, the 2 weeks before Mercury stations retrograde, that pre-shadow begins on November 7th, and the post-shadow will end December 31st. Does this mean you have to do everything before November 7th or wait until after December 31st? Some people like to delay big purchases and signing agreements, leases, and buying cars and computers and those things. Some people prefer to do that before the pre-shadow phase starts, but that only gives us a week from when this video is going live. And a lot of us we're busy right now. We have a lot of things going on. So save your receipts is what I would say. Would I buy a computer or sign a lease during Mercury retrograde? Personally, no, because, well, I have Mercury in Gemini, so I have let's say a special sensitivity to Mercury retrograde. So no, I would not. Other people say just save your receipt. You can always return something. Definitely find out what the return policy is. And obviously, if something breaks, like a phone, most of us would need to replace it. But Mercury retrograde is conducive to fixing things, replacing things, selling things. And who will most feel this Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius? Those of you with planets or points between 5 and 23 degrees of the mutable signs, Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, or Virgo, you will feel this Mercury retrograde most personally, most intensely. And if you're one of those, I am right there with you. It's a time to slow down, especially our thinking. It's a time to do more meditating. It's a time to ground our energy, to be more in our bodies, to do more stretching and yoga and make sure we get good sleep and give ourselves extra time when we remember to, which we don't always do during a Mercury retrograde, but to give ourselves that extra time if we want to avoid some of the hassle and some of the stress. Now, on November 27th, this is another power day. The sun in Sag is going to make a beautiful trine to Mars in Leo. This is something falling in your lap. Trines are the wind at your back. They are the wind in your sails. Trines feel really good, generally speaking. And know that when the sun moves into Sagittarius on the 21st, it will begin building toward this trine with Mars in Leo. Shine your light. Mars in Leo, shine your light. Don't worry that other people might not understand you or might tell you that you're showing off, whatever that is. A lot of us got that as kids, right? Don't worry about any of that. This is time for you to really embody your inner child delight, to let the muse of romance, the muse of your creativity, light you up, bring you into your fullest expression. Enjoy some playful, spontaneous, jubilant fun, whatever that is for you. Because with the sun trining Mars, we will feel more confident. We will feel more like our lioness selves or lion selves. And we may have extra stamina, extra willpower to go after something and to feel victorious. The very last day of the month, November 30th, we're going to have a second new moon. Yes, we have 2 new moons in this month, depending on your time zone. For some people, this new moon will actually be on December 1st. This is a new moon in Sagittarius. It's happening at 9 degrees. Those of you who have planets or points between 5 and 13 degrees of the mutable signs will feel this new moon in Sag most intensely, most personally. I will do a separate video for you on this new moon, of course, but it is inexpansive. Let's have a party. Let's have fun, Sagittarius. We are going to want to take some sort of adventure. I think a lot of us, we are going to be feeling more free. We're going to want to spread our wings a little bit here. Maybe plan a trip or something that feels expansive to you. We will want new scenery, no question. However, I have to say that while this new moon makes a gorgeous trine to Mars and Leo, and I absolutely love this because this is going to boost our confidence and courage, the new moon is going to trine Mars and Leo, but at the same time, it's also going to square Saturn direct in Pisces. Wah, wah. This is like you getting all excited, buying a new party dress or a new suit, new outfit for a special occasion. You're all excited and your cranky boss shows up and says, "Did you forget that you need to work late tonight?" Or if you can think back to your teenage days when you were like so excited to go have a sleepover with a friend and your dad came into the room and said, "Where do you think you're going? Don't you remember you're grounded?" Here's the thing, it's Mars and Leo. Mars and Leo will take a risk. Mars and Leo may just wait until the dad is asleep, till you can hear him snoring and sneak out and go to the friend's house anyway. I love that during this new moon, we're going to feel our lust for life. We're going to have a desire to come more alive. And I'll give you the full scoop on how we can make the most of this new moon in my Sag new moon video. My overall advice for this month of November is to go with the flow, ride with the tide, expect some unexpected moments for sure. Know that Mercury retrograde is going to throw us for a loop for a moment or two, but we are moving into the brand new era of Pluto in Aquarius, so stay focused on your future desire. Get on your magic carpet, my friend. Imagine what your heart most wants. I'm right there with you. Let's go. Okay, so let's do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This is the area of life for the different transits that I'm going to go through, in which you'll be experiencing these transits, but also listen to your sun and moon signs because they will give you additional themes that may very well turn out to be relevant for you. And you will also get additional message through the oracle cards that I pull for each of the signs. So let's start with Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Happy birthday, Sag. Happy birthday. This is going to be a lovely birthday season for you. But before I start with that, I want to say that the new and full moons in Scorpio and Taurus are going to happen along your 6th and 12th house axis. So what does this mean for you? You are building a foundation in the area of health, wellness, and your everyday flow, your spiritual clarity, your spiritual health, your physical health, your routines for exercise and the food that you eat, and whether your work environment or the work that you do is fulfilling, it gives you enough freedom, you have enough flexibility. These are the kinds of questions that I would expect you would be asking. And the 12th house energies as well, they are helping you to clear your mind, clear any disempowering narratives, because overall, the new and full moons for you between November 1st and November 15th for you are about optimal health on every level, spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. Building a new foundation in these areas of your life. And for some of you, this will be spiritual expansion as well, because the 12th house is also on this axis. Now, Sag, Pluto is going to enter Aquarius for good for the next 20 years, and it will be in your 3rd house of communication, your mindset, your inner narrative. If you're a freelancer, it's your freelance work. This is the messaging that you put out into the world or the writing that you do. This is your local neighborhood. This is neighbors, aunts, uncles, and cousins. It's siblings, short trips, your devices. This is where Pluto is going to be beginning November 19th for the next 20 years until January of 2044. I know, it's kind of mind-blowing. But what I love about this for you, Sag, is that this is the people that you interact with on a regular basis. Some of you during this time, you will definitely heal a relationship with someone in your immediate environment or with a sibling. The 3rd house is connected to siblings. You are going to get a sextile from Pluto, and that is awesome, Sag. It is awesome. Sextiles are positive flow. They help us to manifest. If you are someone who wants to put your message out into the world, you want to teach, you want to publish something, you want to take a course, you want to expand your learning, your knowledge, this is going to be big for you over the next 20 years. Also, if you want to have your own business, 3rd house Pluto will give you, it will make your communication more profound, more impactful, but it's also going to help you in any business that you have because it's a mercurial house and it helps us with all of our transactions, helps us to be successful. Pluto is going to sextile your Sagittarius ascendant, but not only that, when the sun moves into your sign, Sag, Pluto will immediately make a sextile to your ascendant in the 1st house. especially if you have a low degree ascendant in Sag, you're really going to feel this strongly. And it's going to be a big boost to your confidence, your identity. You may even be asking yourself, what is my new identity? What is a new role that I want to take on? This could feel like a rebirth to you, a time of rebirth. Really beautiful. Mars in Leo is going to be transiting your ninth house of expansion. I know this is all good news. It's going to expand your sense of your spiritual self. It's going to maybe get you to take a course of some kind, or sign up to pursue a degree, or a learning degree. This is the house of higher learning. At the very least, you will probably be thinking about your philosophy, your truth, acting on a truth, or a spiritual practice, solidifying a spiritual practice, or getting deciding to do a new spiritual practice. Or that could be connected to long distance travel too, or moving to another country, or learning a language, exploring other cultures, and so on. Saturn's going to turn direct in Pisces for you in your fourth house of home. Saturn has been retrograde for 4.5 months. We've been doing the internal work. So you could have been doing quite a bit of inner child healing work, or healing on your ancestral line, working through past life emotional stuff or childhood conditioning, releasing that. And now that Saturn's going direct, the clarity that you have gained, Sag, over the last several months, now you will be applying that. So don't be surprised if something comes up in your family or your home life that feels like you're holding someone else accountable, they're holding you accountable, you're having to set a boundary, or you're making and taking an action that you feel now you're ready to. Now you have clarity, and someone else may not like it. I have to say that. Like, that's the thing about boundaries, right? I think the most wise thing someone ever said to me about boundaries was, and they don't have to like it. They don't have to like it, because those of us who are highly sensitive and empathic, we want to feel in harmony with others. So that can be hard, but now it's time for you, Sag, in this area, your home and family life, to find your own sense of rootedness and belonging, whether in your present home or a current or a future home. Okay, so Sag, let me pull a card for you now, and let us see what the cards have to say. Sag, for your season, so exciting. Your birthday season. Winter's dream gestation period. Look at all the purple and pink in this card. This is a soft, loving energy. You are in a gestation period. Don't push yourself. Don't rush yourself. If you don't know yet, sometimes birthdays can actually be a time of quiet reflection. And I'm told, this isn't me, but I'm told that a lot of people can feel quite depressed on a birthday. I have to be honest, I love birthdays. So um, I have not felt that before, but I understand that that can be true for some of you. That could be true for us as humans. But what this is saying is that there's something that's gestating, and allow it. Allow the gestation period. Don't push the river. Don't expect more of yourself than you are ready to deliver, so to speak. Allow yourself to be in quiet, reflective contemplation. And this makes so much sense given that Mercury is going to retrograde in your sign, Sag. That makes total sense. That is a time of reflection. So if this card resonates for you this time, but there's so much beauty here. It's not just about gestation and reflection. There's so much inner aliveness that's going on here, Sag. So happy birthday. Leave me a comment. Let me know if this resonates. I would love to hear. Scorpio, hello, beautiful Scorpio. And Scorpio, for those of you who have later birthdays, happy birthday to you, beautiful Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, I hope you have a most beautiful birthday, or have had a recent gorgeous birthday. So beautiful Scorpio. The month begins with a new and full moon across your first and seventh house axis. This is the new moon in your sign. We have just had it when this video is going live. I know that you most likely felt it quite intensely. It was a very intense moon with that Mars-Pluto opposition going on at the same time, but it was trining Saturn, and that was and still is, we're still very much in the energy of it the first several days of November, helping you to create a solid, sustainable foundation in your area of identity, the roles that you want to play in this life, who you see yourself as, how you want other people to see you. This was a very important new moon. Obviously, it was your new moon. The full moon is going to be on November 15th in your 7th house of partnerships, conjunct Uranus. So expect something unexpected. Expect something that you're not planning on in the realm of partnerships, which could just as much be an epiphany, an aha moment, clarity, which would be really beautiful, as it could be someone surprising you with something that could make you feel out of sorts. That's possible too. Either way, the goal of this full moon is to free and liberate you. That is the goal. And I will do a separate video with a deeper dive for each of the signs on the full moon very soon. That will be my next video. Now, on the 19th of November, Pluto is going to move in your 4th house of home and family. It will be in your 4th house of home and family for the next 20 years. It makes a square to your energy. So this is motivating energy. It's not feel good energy. Pluto squares do not feel good. I have to be honest about that. But the truth is that we can either be pushed by pain or pulled forward by a vision, pulled forward by passion. So my advice to you, beautiful Scorpio, would be to, if you feel that you have some shadow work to do in the 4th house of home around your home or family, this would be a really good time to begin to think about doing that work, because this is going to be a time that you will be able to really get to the root of any feelings around a core wound of abandonment, betrayal, or shame. And this can be positively, powerfully life-changing, like tremendously life-changing, ultimately very liberating and freeing for you. And if you have planets or points between 0 and 3 degrees, you are going to feel Pluto's transit of your 4th house most intensely from now through the end of 2025. The sun in Sagittarius is going to be in your 2nd house. This is beginning November 21st, your 2nd house of money. So the sun transiting our 2nd house of money can be quite a nice transit, especially because it's going to sextile Pluto, and Pluto will be in your 4th house. So there's something here, I think, also about aligning your life with your values and up-leveling your sense of self-worth, deserving. This is a self-love transit for you. If it doesn't have to do with earned income for you, you probably will be thinking about making more money, or just more money will be coming in during this time, which is really nice. But also, this is a really good time to focus on your sense of deserving and up-leveling that. Mars in Leo is going to be transiting in your 10th house of career, so you're going to have a strong focus on career. This could be an offer for you that comes in that is taking you to the next level but feels challenging in some way because it's a square. You could feel, Scorpio, that you're being asked to take on new responsibilities, and you could feel torn about that, or you could feel like this is a little bit over my head, I'm not sure. But I believe, especially with the sun moving through your 2nd house of money, this could be a time when you get a promotion, or you get you get more responsibilities, but you're also getting paid more. That's just that's one way it could play out. There are many different ways, but your focus will be here. In terms of desire, in terms of motivation and drive, this is where Mars is lighting you up until it goes retrograde December 6th, and then you may feel a bit of a waning of that motivation, or you could change your mind about something. The beauty of a Mars retrograde, which will be going on from December 6th to February 23rd, the beauty of that is that it gives us time to get a sense of what we really truly want in our heart of hearts. Saturn direct in Pisces for you makes a sextile to your energy, Scorpio, so that's really nice. It's in your 5th house of love, beauty, romance, children, creativity, your full unbridled creative expression. Saturn here helps us solidify a foundation for any of the things that I just mentioned. And this is a time that you're going to be applying any clarity that you got over the last 4 months in terms of boundaries with love and romance, or children, parenting, and so forth, or your own creativity. or maybe you've been working on a creative project, because wherever we have Saturn transiting, that's often where we're doing the hardest work. Whatever you came to in your own realization with Saturn retrograde now, you will be applying that to your external life now that Saturn is going direct. So Scorpio, let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. It's an eventful month, right? It's an exciting, eventful month. Scorpio. Scorpio, your card is a Me Talks, repairing the body, mind, and spirit. How perfect is this? So I'm just looking again at, yes, Pluto in your fourth house. I think this Me Talks may have to do with that. Now, of course, this person is in the bathtub. This could have to do with shedding an addiction. This could have to do with, honestly, anything, especially with Saturn direct in your fifth house of love and romance too. This could have, there are so many different places that your chart is getting pinged right now. But I would say, and I don't mean pinged in a bad way, I just mean getting activated. You're getting activated in a lot of different areas in your chart. But with Pluto, especially if you have planets or points in the low degrees of any of the fixed signs, including your own sign, Scorpio, this is where I feel this Me Talks could have this could have to do with setting a boundary with a family member or a loved one, or within yourself. Maybe you decide to move. With Pluto here, many of you will make a move. It's a 20-year period, so that could happen at any time depending on when Pluto's activating your fourth house energies. But you could decide to do that shadow work, that inner child healing that I was mentioning, and that will take you to the next level of your power. Remember, Pluto wants you to detoxify anything in your life that feels toxic and reclaim your power, beautiful Scorpio. So if you resonate with this card, inviting you into a Me Talks to repair the body, mind, and spirit, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Libra, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, how was the solar eclipse for you in your sign? We are coming off of that. That was a big deal for you. October was a huge month for you. Not only was the solar eclipse in your sign on October 2nd, but then we had the full moon in Aries, and that was opposite you. That was an opposing full moon, opposing your Libra energy, and you could have felt that quite intensely. That was an intense full moon. So those energies happened across your first and seventh house axis, and that's your identity and partnerships. Anything to do with who you are now. You could be asking, who am I now? What's important to me now? Where do I want to focus my energy? What will light me up, and so forth. In November, the focus is shifting to your second and eighth house in terms of manifesting. The new manifestational cycle, the second and eighth house, is a financial axis. It's also a partnership axis. It's an axis for anyone with whom you share time, money, or resources. So it can be a romantic partner, it could be a business partner, it can be a partnership with an institution, like where you have your money invested. It's the axis of material security, but also where feel we have power or we don't have power. That's where you are building a solid, sustainable foundation. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have focus in some way on your finances, or if you're doing your taxes, or you want to pay off loans or debt, that kind of thing. Pluto is entering Aquarius for the next 20 years. I'm so excited about this. Every time I say that, I don't know why. I think this is a good omen because my heart just gets really warm when I say it. It's making a trine, Libra. It's making a trine to your energy. Libra, I really want to impress this upon you. A trine to your energy from Pluto is a beautiful, beautiful transit. This is Pluto empowering you in a more easeful, graceful way. Doesn't mean that you won't have, and I will do a separate video on Pluto and Aquarius. I already have a couple out there, but I feel like there's a new level of it that we're having now. But a trine doesn't mean that you won't have Pluto tests perhaps coming around where somebody's let's say this, somebody very enticing to you could come around. with an offer that's enticing, but you realize it's not in integrity with you. So doesn't mean those things stop happening, but we're wiser now. We know now. Because you're one of the cardinal signs and you've been through it with Pluto and Capricorn. So now you know, now you may apply a boundary or two with Pluto and Aquarius, but more likely this transit for you, because it's happening in your 5th house of love and romance and children and your creative expression, more likely this is going to feel very empowering and where you get the good stuff, where something really lovely comes into your life that you have, all the work you've done pays off this time around. Libra. The sun is entering Sagittarius on the 21st of the month, and it will be in your 3rd house of communication, of mindset, your inner narrative. It's also your devices and travel, short distance travel, transportation, neighbors, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings. As soon as it gets into your 3rd house, it's going to the sun will immediately make a sextile to Pluto in your 5th house. So this feels to me like something really light and lovely happening in your 3rd house of your local area, your everyday environment. And then it feels very empowering to you in your 5th house of love, romance, children, or creativity. Something juicy. How's that? Something juicy. It feels juicy to me. Get out and about around this time. Don't just stay home. The 3rd house is movement. The 3rd house is mercurial rule. The 3rd house says get involved, go to a meetup group, talk to people, have coffee dates. Like if you want more people time, for those of you who would like to have a romance, or for those of you who would, this could be if you have kids that you're going out and doing something fun with your kids, or that you're joining a gym maybe that has childcare, and then you get your needs met for working out and your kids get to meet new friends and childcare. Like it could be anything. It could be that you start writing a blog, because that's connected to the 3rd house of writing, but also to your creative expression. Or you meet up with a friend, you decide, let's do a podcast together, something like that. Anything creative, anything social. That's a lovely, lovely transit for you. And then Saturn is going to turn direct for you in your 6th house. This is your house of wellness and your daily work. Saturn direct is like, okay, I've learned what I need in terms of boundaries, in terms of what I want to commit to, what I want to be accountable for, and now I'm going to make it real. So something in your work you could be wanting to start moving toward, something in your routines, your exercise, your diet. This is where the rubber is hitting the road. You're now wanting to take action on making something real, Saturn, in your house of daily work, wellness, routines, and so forth. I need a breath. Okay, so Mars and Leo, finally Libra, Mars and Leo, which makes a beautiful sextile. You're getting another sextile from Mars and Leo. Love that fire, Libra. Gotta love that fire to your air. That is coming in and transiting your 11th house of friendships, communities. If you have any sort of a following, or this is the World card in the tarot. This is hopes, wishes, and dreams, fulfillment. Mars and Leo is going to get you fired up in any of these areas. It can also be advisors. It can be alliances, supporters, people helping you. Also long-term financial gains. But this is where we're ready to come out a little bit more in the world, and you have to take action to make this sextile, beneficial for you. You have to take some action. But once you do, the resources, the person, the relationship, the money, whatever you need then is available to you once you decide and you take that action. Okay, so Libra, I know that was a lot. That's a lot of transits. Let us pull a card for you now. Beautiful Libra. Libra. Your card is the courage to step into life. Yes, perfect storm. Have you been through a storm? A lot of us are going through a storm at the very beginning of November or the end of October, or obviously you could have felt like you went through a storm during the solar eclipse in your sign and the full moon in Aries that brought some of that to fruition. Now, this is a foundational number, 44. It reduces to an 8. 8 is success, material success. You are now the eagle. You are now, you now have perspective. You can see things from a new, you are seeing things in a new light now, is what I see in this card. The eagle on its perch. And you are proud of yourself. You're proud of yourself, and and there's a lot of green in this card too, which is very healing energy. It's heart chakra. And you now have the courage to step into life. You are now choosing to create 44 double 4 solid foundation for yourself that is going to improve your material security, but also the 8 is the infinity symbol. It is spiritual fulfillment. So, beautiful Libra, if this resonates for you, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Virgo, hello, beautiful Virgo. I know I have to work on my songs for each of the signs. I do need to spend a little time on that. That would actually be really fun. Okay, so beautiful Virgo. It's a work in progress. You'll get that, Virgo. You'll get that. You are experiencing the November 1st Scorpio new moon and the November 15th Taurus full moon across your 3rd and 9th house axis. Now, these energies of Scorpio and Taurus, they harmonize with your energy, which is really beautiful. The 3rd house is the house of writing, learning, teaching, speaking, your inner narrative, communication. The 9th house is higher learning and publishing and expansion, new horizons, new adventures, other cultures, long distance travel. Something is being seeded for you. You have been seeding something in any of these areas of your life. You may have a mini culmination of this on the full moon in Taurus, but the point of this transit for you is expansion. Spiritual expansion for some of you, you expressing yourself, putting your work out into the world in a way. If you're a freelancer, that's the 3rd house. If you teach, if you communicate, we all communicate. There's almost no job in this world anymore that doesn't involve emails and communication and writing and all of that. But the 3rd house is also our local environment. It's also our relationships with our siblings and neighbors and landlords and tenants and aunts, uncles, and cousins. So there could be something going on with you as well here, something going on with a sibling, something going on with a cousin, or somebody who you rent from or you rent to, or getting a mortgage, any of those kinds of things. Big picture, this is a new level of expansion for you. This is where this is taking you. And some of you, that might be you're writing something that you want to publish, you're putting out a message through videos, you are making a plan to travel to another country or move to another country perhaps, or expand your knowledge in some area of your life. That's the first half of this month. Pluto is going to enter on the 19th, your 6th house of daily work. This is your house of health. This is your house of your routines. And this is a Virgo house where Pluto is going to be. So you are going to have transformation, Virgo, I believe, over the next 20 years in these areas of your life. Your work is going to transform. How you do your daily life will transform. How you treat your body, how you nurture your body, I should say, is going to shift and change. Pluto wants you to detoxify anything in 6th house matters. And this is our health on all levels. This is mental, spiritual. This is emotional health. This is physical. You will not be the same person 20 years from now, regardless of your age. You're going to be a completely different person because this is actually a really beautiful Pluto transit. You are going to detoxify. A lot of Virgos deal with anxiety. A lot of Virgos, because you are so diligent, because you seek to improve, because you can be perfectionistic, some of you, a lot of Virgos have to deal with anxiety and other mental stresses. You feel those more more in your body and your mind, partly because you are so highly sensitive. But this is going to change, and you are going to really heal, I think, a lot, especially because not only with Pluto here, but also with the South Node moving into Virgo and the North Node moving into Pisces. I have a separate video for you on that. That will be linked in the description box below if I remember to do that. The sun in Sagittarius is going to enter your fourth house. That will be on the 21st of this month. It will immediately sextile Pluto in your sixth house. So there's something to do with home, family, childhood conditioning, or ancestral healing that is going to be empowering for you, an awareness perhaps that happens, or perhaps a family member for some of you that comes forward and wants to talk, wants to heal your relationship maybe. Something in that area is going to make a connection to transiting Pluto in your sixth house. And that, I think, is going to be maybe a foreshadowing of the work that you're going to do, perhaps, Virgo, over the next 20-year period. Or some of the work, at least, having to do with your inner and outer sanctuary, a sense of rootedness and your sense of inner belonging or belonging in the world. Some of you may decide to move when the sun sextiles Pluto on the 21st of November. That's possible. You could entertain a move at least. Mars will be in Leo in your 12th house. Mars in the 12th house, it's a boost of confidence and courage for sure, but often we do a deep excavation when Mars is transiting our 12th house. It sometimes is a difficult transit. We tend to have really intense dreams when Mars is in our 12th house, but it does require us and get us into action on deepening our connection with the divine. That is really beautiful to remember or awaken to the fact that you are a spirit of pure love and that you have the ability to align with the divine and receive divine guidance whenever you need it. That can be an amazing gift that you receive from a Mars and Leo transit. Saturn is going to move direct in Pisces in your 7th house. So this to me is you've already figured out when over the past 4 months when Saturn was retrograde in your 7th house, you got a clear sense of what's needed in a partnership if you're in partnership, business or romantic, or it could be with a parent too, or you are more clear now what you need in partnership and you're ready to take a step in that direction. When Saturn turns direct, sometimes someone comes back into our life. We get the phone call from the ex. We get a little Saturn test that reminds us of what our boundaries are now and gives us a chance to set those boundaries. Or you could find that you have clear awareness now that something is karmically complete. It's over. It's done. You're letting it go. And that is also very freeing and liberating, Virgo. So let me pull a card for you now. And we'll see what the cards have to say for Virgo. There's a new tune. Virgo. And I want to say, I know that a lot of Virgos have really been feeling the energies intensely lately. A lot of the astrology consultations I've been doing in the past couple of weeks, they've been with people with strong Virgo energy. I always find it amazing how the patterns happen that way. I'll have reading after reading with people with a similar Virgo placement. It's really interesting how the universe sets that up. But I want to say, if you've been feeling that way, you are not alone. You are so not alone. And the energy is definitely shifting. Okay, so here's your card. Limitless possibility, stars in the sky. Check it out. I love this so much. The person sitting here meditating in the light, this reminds me of Mars and Leo going through your 12th house. Mars is a planet of action, right? It's a planet of doing, it's motivation. It often in Leo, it's like real movement, but through a spiritual practice, whatever that is for you. And it could be a moving meditation. It could be a walking meditation. It could be dancing it out, shaking it off. That's in my view, also a spiritual practice. Especially, it's all about your intention. If your intention is to release and let go and detoxify, purify, Virgo, which you're good at, we can do that through joyful activity, right? But when I see this card, I see that even if you're just sitting in stillness, Mars in Leo, which is going to most likely want, it's going to feel to you like a boost, a desire to boost your confidence and courage, or to call on your inner strength. The strength card in the tarot is the Leo card. I think you're really going to get the benefits of that during this Mars and Leo transit. Limitless possibility. This card is an invitation to look at the stars in the sky, to be aware of the truth of who you are as part of a larger universe that is being guided by the stars, and to activate and have a more palpable awareness of your limitless possibility. So, beautiful Virgo, if you want to claim your limitless possibility, let us know in the comments below. Leo, beautiful Leo, this is an exciting time for you. Why? Because Mars is moving into your sign. But before I get to that, I want to say that the new and full moons in Scorpio and Taurus are happening across your 4th and 10th house axis. And this is your career and home and family axis. So you are setting intentions, or have set intentions, for a solid, sustainable foundation in your career and or your home and family life. Now, Mars in your sign, Leo. I love Mars in your sign. I love it. Why? Because it boosts your confidence. It boosts your courage. It gives you more verve. It makes you more sexy. It makes you look in the mirror and go, look at you, look at you. It makes you love yourself that much more. I believe it is your time to shine. And if you're a Leo rising, this is happening in your 1st house. If you're a Leo sun or moon, it's happening wherever your sun or moon is in your chart. I would have to see your chart to talk about that with you. But this is a new cycle of I'm coming out. I want the world to know. I got to let it show. Leo, I love this for you. You're coming out in a bigger way. Your full unbridled expression. Say yes, beautiful Leo. Pluto is moving into Aquarius in your 7th house of partnerships. And I can tell you, from Pluto in Capricorn having just moved through my 7th house of partnerships, I can tell you that this is quite a ride. It is quite a ride. Oh my goodness. Okay. Passionate. Let me give you some keywords for the Pluto and Aquarius for the 7th house. Passionate, complicated relationships sometimes, but you could have some very passionate attractions. If you are already partnered, your partnership will change. It will transform, or it will potentially, some of you, it could end, but it's a time to really deepen and transform your relationship. Even if you say, oh, my partner and I are so aligned, nothing's going to change, you will up level your partnership in some way. You will get closer. You will get deeper. You will deepen your intimacy. You will learn to set boundaries with each other in even more, in better ways. That's just part of a Pluto in the 7th house partnership. My advice here is to stay aligned with your heart's vision for your partnerships. If you want a new partnership, know that if somebody comes into your life, it may be complicated, as in they are already with somebody else, or it may be quite passionate. Usually the attraction is off the charts, but at the same time, you could be projecting onto them. They could be projecting onto you, or both, and so forth. It's a transformational transit, and you will be a changed person 20 years from now. You will be more, and it could happen before that. I'm not saying you have to wait 20 years, but this transit is going to make you feel more in your own skin, more at home in your own skin than ever before. The sun entering Sagittarius, this of course is a much shorter transit, about a month. The sun is in a sign. It will be in your 5th house, Leo, your 5th house of romance and creativity, all yummy things, sweet things, children, also parenting. And it trines your energy. The sun and Sag is going to trine your energy. You're going to love this time. It's really beautiful for love and romance. It's really beautiful for family activities. It's really amazing for your creative expression as well. And then Saturn is turning direct in your 8th house of power. Saturn in your 8th house of power. Sometimes this has to do with like paying off a loan. Sometimes this has to do with a intimate partnership. It has to do with deepening our emotional connection. It has to do with death and rebirth. Sometimes we come out of this having shed a skin, but other times we're just really doing hard work on things like our taxes, on things like a business structure or a structure of a business partnership, or Saturn, wherever Saturn is transiting in our chart, that's where we are doing the hardest work, or we're having to follow someone else's rules, or we're having to just be very structured in our life. We're being held accountable, we're holding others accountable, and so forth. So now with Saturn direct, you are coming into integrity with the truth and the knowledge and the understanding of that's happened internally for you. You're now applying that to your life. And you could be solidifying something here, like in the realm of investments or buying a home or a relationship. You could be taking a relationship to the next level. You could be making a relationship official, that kind of thing. Okay, Leo, let me shuffle for you now. And let us see what the cards have to say. Beautiful Leo, your card is... I jumped the gun on that one. Your card is... Ooh, I love this card. In the hand, the universe is your partner. This is a gorgeous spiritual card. It's telling you, you have everything you need in your hand. This is the hand of the divine. This is your gold. This is a golden diamond. This is saying you have everything you need. The universe is your partner. Partner with the universe. Partner with your soul. Know that you are one with the divine. And if you want to deepen your partnership with the divine, that is what my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, is about. And the link to that is in the description box below. If you want to claim the fact that you are one with the divine, that the universe is your partner, the universe has your back, the universe is wholly and completely supporting you in everything that your heart desires, let us know in the comments below, beautiful Leo. Cancer, hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my moon and rising in Cancer, and the new and full moons in Scorpio and Taurus for you are happening this month across the 5th and 11th house axis. So the 5th house being children, creativity, love, and romance for you. That's your Scorpio house. And then the 11th house for Taurus for you is hopes, wishes, and dreams, friendships, allies, supporters, and long-term financial gains. So this is where in one or both of these areas you are setting intentions or have set intentions. We'll see some sort of mini culmination or fruition of that mid-month for this manifestational cycle. Big picture, more fun and pleasure for you, Cancer. This is what I encourage. More fun and pleasure, more joy, more creativity, getting clear on what you want for fulfillment. I say more about the full moon conjunct Uranus in the first part of this video, and I will have a separate video for you guys out on that next weekend. But I also want to say that some of you are really wanting to build more tribe and more friendships or deeper friendships with the full moon as well. Pluto is going to enter or is already there. Pluto in Aquarius, your 8th house of partnerships. This is the house of partnerships as in emotional and sexual intimacy, but also relationships in which you share power, time, money, and resources. So often that is a business partner or it's a romantic partner. This is the house of power, if I didn't say it already. This is where we are building assets, whether it's real estate or a retirement fund, for example, other investments. This is where you are going to be having a plutonic journey for the next 20 years. Beautiful Cancer, the next 20 years. I would not be surprised if a lot of you are building some sort of nest egg, or at least thinking about that right now, depending on your age. Although there are a lot of people who invest very, very young in their lives. And if you do, I give you lots of kudos because I started much later than that. But regardless of your age, you are probably really thinking about material security, because the eighth house is across from the second house, and that axis is second and eighth houses are about material security. They're about us feeling like we are safe and secure in this material world, but also power in our relationships too. Some of you with Pluto here could be, especially if you have planets or points from 0 to 3 degrees, some of you could be dividing assets with somebody, or you could be working together to build your financial wellness. You could be working with an advisor. This is a really good time to work with an advisor on any level, whether just to strengthen your own sense of power. Okay, so not only this, but the sun in Sagittarius is going to transit your sixth house of work and health and your daily routines and schedules, and it will sextile Pluto in your eighth house. So this means that some of you are going to feel a strong desire. The sun shining on you, your life force is going to be improved by focusing on your work, changing your work up in some way, your health, working out, eating differently, those kinds of things. Some of you are probably going to want to get stronger in your physical body, or you might go to counseling, or you might work with a coach like myself. You're wanting to improve your daily experience in some way, your daily routines, or maybe you want to work less, or maybe you want to work smarter. That could be it too for you. Some decision or action that you take in any of these six house matters is going to make you feel much more empowered, where Pluto is going to be transiting in your eighth house, or is transiting. Also, Mars in Leo is transiting as of the 3rd of this month, when this video goes live, transiting your second house of money. So again, a lot of desire, Mars and Leo being desire and confidence and boldness. You may take a risk. You may invest in something that you wouldn't have invested in before. You may make a money move that feels like a risk to you, Cancer. But with Mars here in Leo, that helps you to do that, especially if it's making a positive aspect to any of your planets or points in your natal astrology chart. And when Mars makes a trine to the sun in Sagittarius on the 27th of November, that could be, depending on your natal chart, could be really nice for you for your money as well. Saturn is turning direct in Pisces. Saturn does make a trine to your Cancer energy, which is really beautiful. It's turning direct in your 9th house of expansion, your spiritual belief system, long distance travel, learning, higher learning, getting a degree, taking a course. A lot of you with Saturn transiting here have probably been learning something, whether it's astrology or something else. You may have gotten very, very into a routine of studying or working hard, or you've been applying for a visa, or you have just really focused on truth seeking. You've been really doing the work of your spiritual blossoming. That's possible too. But now that Saturn's turning direct, any realizations or epiphanies you've had while in the last 4 months while it's been retrograde, now those are going to be, you're going to be applying that wisdom. You're going to be applying that wisdom, beautiful Cancer, as Saturn turns direct and stays direct for several more months. Okay, so now Cancer, let me pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. Cancer. Your card is time to replenish. Cancer, do you have an empty well? Have you been pushing it? I think a lot of Cancers have been working hard. I know that I have. I'll just speak for myself. I have been working really hard, and that's all great. I love my work. I absolutely love my work, but we have to keep filling our well, right? And I love the image of this card, the spiral, because in the center of the spiral is that beautiful white light. So beautiful. To me, this card says whatever you need to do to replenish, whatever it is for you, relaxing on the couch, doing meditation, whatever it is. I love breath work, but breath work can also be like a Kundalini yoga class. I love that, but sometimes that feels like work too, right, Cancer? Sometimes all I want to do is lay on the couch. So just so you know, if that's all you want to do, sometimes that's exactly what we need. If you want to claim your time to replenish, it's time to fill up that well for some of you Cancers. Let me know. Let me know if this resonates. It may not resonate for all Cancers, but this is a big permission slip to tap into that replenishment, because look at all the orange. When you do that, your creativity, your sacral chakra gets a lot of reviving. And not only that, but then you begin to see the light. Then the sky begins to clear. I see blue in there. I see a blue sky. I see a sense of looking up, just giving yourself some space for enjoyment, just space to enjoy beautiful Cancer. Gemini, hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini, I have my natal sun in Gemini, and you are experiencing, if you are watching this video when it first comes out, between November 1st and November 15th, the new and full moons in Scorpio and Taurus, they are happening across your 6th and 12th house axes. And that means that with the new moon in Scorpio in your 6th house, you are setting some sort of intentions having to do with your optimal health and wellness, your how you treat your body, what you eat, and your daily work. There's something that you're working out here, Gemini, in your daily habits. And then the full moon will happen in your 12th house, and that is your internal self. That is, you could be having some deep dreams right now. I know my dreams have been really, really like, I don't know. I think it's past life stuff clearing or whatever, but some of them have just been crazy. So you could be, leave me a comment, Gemini. Let me know if you're having that experience. But the Taurus full moon, conjunct Uranus, there's definitely a surprise element. Hopefully it's an epiphany. In the 12th house, it could be a spiritual awakening. It could be an amazing, enlightening moment, which would be so cool. Pluto for you is transiting your 9th house. That is where Pluto and Aquarius will be for the next 20 years. In your 9th house of expansion. What a beautiful place for Pluto. Some of you, if you've had a certain devotion to a religion, for example, or to a belief system or something that maybe hasn't been the best for you, if anything that's been oppressive, whether it's your own inner beliefs or an outer institutional kind of conditioning of you, Pluto is going to help you to detox that, so to speak. I call Pluto the great detoxifier. It's going to help you to shed anything that isn't empowering to you, for you to take back your power. And in the 9th house, that power is in our ability to be expansive, our ability to be adventurous, to travel to new places, if that's what we want, to feel like we are in control of our fun and our learning. A lot of it's about, learning new things, getting a degree, all those kinds of things. So Pluto, yes, it can bring in its, we can have loss in Pluto. It can be the wrecking ball, as people call it, or it can be, passion. And the thing is, Gemini, you are one of the lucky ones. You are getting a trine from Pluto and Aquarius. You are getting a huge wind in your sail with Pluto and Aquarius when it makes a connection to any of your planets or points in Gemini. It is a trine. It's gorgeous, gorgeous energy. So congratulations. This is a huge gift. It's a huge gift to get a trine from Pluto, especially in your house of expansion. And I think some of you are going to meet somebody who's going to expand you spiritually. Others of you are going to have experiences that expand you. For some of you, that will be travels. For some of you, that will be other cultures and languages. For some of you, that will be through spiritual practice. Or it can happen just from reading books that really have a high vibration and that elevate you and open up your mind. It's very mind-opening, a trine from Pluto to your energy, Gemini. On the 21st of November, the sun in Sag is going to be transiting your 7th house of partnerships. The sun in the 7th house can be quite lovely. It will then sextile Pluto in your 9th house, which we just talked about, very expanding. So how cool is that? I mean, you could meet someone who's from a different place with that. You know, who lives in your area and they're from a different country, or you travel to another country. Obviously, it can happen in a lot of different ways, online and so forth. Saturn is moving direct for you in your 10th house of career. So with Saturn in our 10th house of career, we often have a peak experience. We often feel recognized or feel like all of our hard work up to that point is being acknowledged in some way. Saturn in Pisces, however, does square your energy. So it could mean that you have to set boundaries. It could mean that you're making a decision. Do I want this promotion? Do I want to start my own business? There could be some tension there. But Saturn is having you apply everything that you've learned while Saturn was retrograde internally, apply that to your external life now. So some of you will make a career decision. Some of you are ending a career. Some of you are deciding whether you want to take something to the next level or not, or thinking about your life purpose, because Saturn in Pisces is, you know, Pisces is very deep, ethereal, divinely connected energy. So you could be thinking a lot about your purpose and is your work fulfilling to you on a spiritual level. Mars in Leo is going to transit your 3rd house of your local area, neighbors, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, all of your meetings, your coffee dates, your lunch meetings, and so forth. This is also very activating for people that have a freelance business or do their own work, you know, contract work, for example. If you put your message out to people in some way, whether you do it through emailing, whether you do it through videos or writing or a blog or a book, this will be a very energizing transit for you. A burst of energy. Leo energy. I'm doing it. I'm having fun. This is inner child delight. This is letting the muse of your own inner child move you forward. This will probably feel like a very passionate transit for you. You could meet someone with Mars and Leo in your 3rd house. You could meet, because Leo is very romantic, you could meet a new romantic partner or have a romantic liaison, Gemini. Do you see how easy it is for me to make myself laugh? I know you do that too, Gems. I know you do, because that's a Gemini thing, and we're lucky to be able to do that. Okay, so crack ourselves up. Okay, so Gems, I am shuffling for you now. And let's see what the cards have to say. And I'm very curious if any of you have a planet or point at 0 to 1 degrees. Let us know in the comments if you would. If you've had like a really amazing Pluto trine moment, that would be so fun to hear. Okay. Gemini. Your card is a bold step forward. Yes, yes, yes. This is Mars in Leo. It's time to take a bold step. And also Pluto in Aquarius trining your energy. Gems. Move through the portal. 11/11 is one portal. There are portals throughout this month. The 27th, when the sun makes a trine, Mars and the sun trine. 11/11, the 19th, when Pluto moves into Aquarius for good. This month is full of moments when you can walk through the farther gate, into the light, through the portal, claiming the truth of who you are as ready, as empowered. It's time to take a bold step forward. Beautiful Gems. Leave me a comment. Let me know is there a bold step you want to take? I know I'm giving you lots of instructions. I'm giving you lots of assignments. Tell me about your Pluto moment if you've had one. It's whatever you might want to share. I would love to hear. Taurus, hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, you are experiencing the new moon opposite your sign, have experienced a day ago. And the full moon in your sign, Taurus, is a big month for you, a full moon in your sign. This is happening across your 1st and 7th house axis. The new moon was in your 7th house. The full moon will be in your 1st house mid-month. This for you is about your identity. It's about boundaries, cutting ties to a relationship that isn't serving you, purging emotionally, some of you. You are getting a clear vision of what you want in relationship if you aren't partnered in business or partnered romantically, or you are really coming to terms with a new role or leaving behind a role. Again, this is always personal or professional. This is a turning point month for you, for sure, Taurus. The full moon may bring you an epiphany in your 7th house about relationships because it is conjunct Uranus. Uranus in your sign, which I know you've already had a lot of, beautiful Taurus. Pluto is going to be in Aquarius in your 10th house of career for the next 20 years. The next 20 years, you are going to be having Pluto moments, which can be very passionate, or they can be, I have to be honest, they can be painful, pushed by pain or pulled forward by a vision, a passionate vision. I feel that it's very important. It will be very important for you. See, when Pluto moves through a house, it detoxifies. It wants us to become more in integrity with ourselves, with our hearts. So I feel for you, Taurus, if you're Taurus rising, it will be very difficult for you to continue to do a career that isn't aligned with your heart and passion. A lot of people with Taurus rising are going to shift their career in some way. Some of you will retire. That would be a very Pluto thing if you are of the age or you have the ability to retire and you want to retire. Some of you, I know some of us will never retire. I get that. Like some of us don't want to retire. We love what we do. We want to keep doing it. But sometimes we slow down as we get older too, and we want to do different things with our lives. So, but Pluto here is, because you're one of the fixed signs and Pluto's in a fixed sign, it makes a square to your energy. This could be bringing up a real question mark for you, especially if you have planets or points in the low degrees of your sign, Taurus. You could really be thinking right now about career and what you want, what's important to you, what are you ready to leave behind? Do you want to shift your career in some way? If anything is toxic for you in your career, Pluto says time to let it go. Easier said than done, I know. The sun in Sag is going to move through your 8th house of power. That is a Plutonic house. And, you know, it's shared resources. It's where we feel powerful, where we feel powerless. When the sun is transiting here, often things go quite well in our business or romantic partnerships. This is the sun here is also increasing your life force. Your focus could be on financial matters. It could be on building assets, retirement funds, paying off loans, doing taxes, and so forth. But it's making a sextile to that Pluto in the 10th house. So this is the sun in Sag is saying, what makes you feel powerful in career? What would light you up? What would really turn you on in career? You can make it happen. A sextile is an opportunity or a solution. It's a big boost of power. Could even feel like a surge of power when this happens on the 21st of November for you. A day or two, all of these, a day or two, day before, a day after, around that time. A new business or romantic partner could come into your life around this time. This really supports your purpose as you express it through your work or career, and also deepening of any sort of partnership. Mars is going to be transiting your 4th house, Mars in Leo, your 4th house of home and family. This also makes a square to your energy, which means that you are balancing work and your personal life, or you have an inner conflict perhaps, you're coming to terms with what you most want during this time. Also, you could be moving. Mars transiting the 4th house sometimes means a move, or we're contemplating a move. And all I would say with Mars in terms of what to be aware of with Mars transiting your 4th house is that sometimes there can be more conflict. There can be somebody who wants to fight with us, or we pick a fight with somebody that we live with, or a neighbor, or that kind of thing. And it's just something to be aware of, to handle with as most ease and grace as you possibly can. Saturn in Pisces is turning direct in your 11th house. So this is really nice. This is boundaries and friendship, Saturn transiting your 11th house. This is hopes, wishes, and dreams. This is you really getting clear, or having gotten clear when Saturn was retrograde, on what you really want to commit to in terms of friendships and social media platforms, if you put your work out into the world in that way. Also, alliances and support groups and meetup groups and long-term financial gains. This is where you're probably doing a lot of work right now in any of these areas. 11th house matters. And you may really be thinking about, is there what would bring me the most fulfillment? And have I taken steps? Have I done the work? Am I holding myself accountable? Am I, doing the work that I need to do to make this happen? Whatever your current dream is, whatever would most fulfill you. Taurus. Taurus, that was a lot. I guess I'm not breathing in between talking. I don't know. But I am now. And let us pull a card for you, beautiful Taurus, and see. Again, this is a really big month for you. This is a turning point month for you, Taurus, no question. Where I think you're really coming to terms with what you want and reclaiming your power this month. I really see you doing that. Taurus, your card is the crossing, initiation. You're going through a soul initiation, Taurus. This does not surprise me with the sun in Sag making a sextile to Pluto in your 10th house. You are going through a soul initiation. Wow, 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 wow. I love this card. Do you see that as you cross, you meet with the divine? The divine is pulling you forward to deepen your connection. This is where you are getting guidance and wisdom. Some of you are going through a spiritual awakening right now. Some of you could be going through a dark night. Some of you could be if something disruptive happens for you during your full moon on the 15th or around a bit before, a bit after, it's showing you the light. It's bringing you into it wants to help free and liberate you. Break down, breakthrough, breakthrough. It's a breakthrough for you. This is a 9. The 54 is a 9, and that is completion. I think some of you are shedding an ego form, so to speak, an aspect of ego, a way that you have protected yourself in the past that you don't need to do anymore because of your evolutionary soul growth. This is really beautiful, Taurus. If you want to claim that you are moving into an initiation time, that you are crossing into a brand new stage of your life, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you are experiencing the new moon in Scorpio and the full moon in Taurus across your 8th and 2nd house axis. This is the financial axis and the partnership axis. Partnerships in the sense of putting our love into action, sharing time, money, and resources. These are the kinds of partnerships with whom we are creating things together in life. So a business partnership, or a partner with whom you are buying a house, or you are investing money together, that kind of thing. So this has been a focus for you this month, I'm guessing. I know we're just starting out the month, but the new moon on the very 1st is inviting you, has invited you, we're in that energy now still, to set intentions for your financial security. Often with a partner, or it could be you partnering with institutions where your money is invested, or in the stock market, that kind of thing. Pluto, moving into Aquarius for the next 20 years, is making a sextile to your energy, Aries. This is really cool. This is so beautiful. I love sextiles. This is where something is coming into manifestation for you. Pluto is in Aquarius in your 11th house, transiting your 11th house of tribes, friendships, alliances, where you receive support, where you put your work out into the world. If you have a social media platform, it's the house of tribe. It's also the house of the dream, the current dream of your life, where you want to experience fulfillment, also long-term financial gains. So Aries, I think many of you, while Pluto is here, you're going to be really seeking more alliances in the world. You're going to be seeking, because Pluto is passion and power. It's not just detoxifying life. It's both. Like, you could have someone come into your life and they could originally at first, is what I mean. They could at first seem like, wow, this is like my best friend for life and all of that. And then you could find out something about them that you didn't know before that brings an end to your friendship. That can happen, but with a sextile, it's usually more passionate alliances. It's usually more deep, very soulful bonds. So that's really cool. Or, you know, we build wealth. We can build wealth with Pluto, and that is wealth is a loaded word, and it depends on what wealth is to you. And so that's different for everyone. But when Pluto in Aquarius sextiles, well, when the sun in Sagittarius on the 21st, on or around November 21st, makes a sextile to Pluto in your 11th, it's the sun will be in the 9th house. So the 9th house is expansion. It's new adventures, new horizons. It's learning about things that you haven't learned about before, getting a degree. It's a very expansive place. The sun will be there and it will make a sextile to that Pluto transiting your 11th house. So that's really nice for any kind of new scenery, long distance travel, new cultures, where you want to expand. It could be expanding your belief system. It could be a new spiritual awakening. And it is, you know, I would be asking myself in this realm of 11th house matters, which is what matters most to me now? What does my heart want most now? Who do I want to spend my time with? Who do I want to have alliances with? Who lights me up? That sun and Sag is saying, okay, let us take a risk. Let us get a little bit wild. And I don't mean in a negative way. I mean, like, you know, let us release any internal blocks to expansion so that we can have that dream of our life come into fruition. For a lot of you, this could feel like I'm finding my tribe, or I'm finding that best friend, or I'm making new connections online and I'm finding it very expansive, or it could have to do with learning new things. Mars in Leo is transiting your 5th house. So already for you, Aries, one of the things I love about Aries people is that with Leo in your 5th house, you're a lot of fun to be with. You're a lot of fun. And you're generous. You're generous in love. You're generous with children. Because generosity is a Leo quality, and you have that in your 5th house of children and love and romance. And also with your own creativity. This is a beautiful time to really awaken to your own creativity, reawaken to it, put out a project, do a project. Like this is any kind of anything creative that you enjoy, whether it's writing or painting or designing or planting a garden, whatever it is. It can be anything. Building a rocket ship. Like obviously it's anything. Anything that feels creative to you. You're going to feel fired up in any of these areas in your 5th house. And it could be just that you're putting a lot more time, effort, and energy if you're a parent into time with your children too. It could be that, or just having more fun. You're ready to have more fun. Mars here says, what have I done lately that was super fun? And Mars encourages you to do that. And then finally, Saturn is going to station direct in your 12th house. Saturn in the 12th house for you over the last 4 months, Aries, has required you, because where Saturn transits, we're really required. We really feel it if we don't follow Saturn. It has required you to awaken to the workings of your subconscious mind. You could have had very intense dreams. It is reprogramming your subconscious mind, or has been. You could feel like an old ego has unraveled. An old ego meaning a part of you that you don't need anymore, a part of you that maybe has put up walls to protect the self because of your soul evolution. That's not, and your own psychological growth. You don't need that anymore. And so now that Saturn is turning direct, that is you taking the learning that happened over the last several months internally and applying it to your life. So beautiful, Aries. If you've had any sort of expansion internally or awakening, or maybe you've just set more boundaries at work because the 12th house is across from your house of work, and some of you could have had to set clear boundaries with somebody, coworker or boss, or you have focused on really you've really worked on your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual well-being, or your emotional health. It could be that as well for you. Wherever Saturn is transiting, that is where we are meant to do the work. That's where we have to hold ourselves accountable. Yes, I can speak clearly. Aries. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say for you, Aries. For the month of November, your card is needing direction. Aries, do you need direction? Some of you do. This card has come up a few times in client readings, so this is kind of going on in the collective right now, and Saturn is in your 12th house of the collective, so this could be something you're experiencing as well. What I love about this card is that it's saying that we have to get lost before we can be found. When we're going through a spiritual evolution, when we're going through a soul initiation, when we're going through a time, which you could be going through with Saturn transiting your 12th house, where we are shedding a skin, where we're finding a new self, we feel lost before we're found. But if you look at the image, it's really beautiful. First of all, she's an angel. Lots of purple, the crown chakra, belief systems, shedding old beliefs that are no longer current for us, taking on new beliefs, finding new truths. She's holding the earth. And she's not just holding the earth, she is receiving nourishment from the earth. And she's having a huge third eye opening here. You see the third eye awakening that's happening? So by being lost, we seek, and we find a new self, and we awaken and we expand. So really this card is saying, in looking for new direction, you're expanding, Aries. So if this resonates at all, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. This month of November is taking you into a new horizon. Beautiful Aries. Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you are experiencing Saturn direct in your sign, in your first house. Saturn transiting our first house can be a bit of a grueling transit, I have to say. Why? Because we are forced by Saturn, let's say push, that's a little gentler. We're pushed to do the work, Saturn, the work of our identity shifting oftentimes, coming to terms with what is my identity now? Who am I now? Who do I want to be? Saturn in your sign could have had you over the past, since Saturn's been there for some time now, shedding a skin, shedding a role. A role has shifted. I know one of my daughters who's a Pisces rising, she is home now with 3 babies under the age of 4. And her work has shifted a lot. And now she is wanting to, bring her work out into the world again, but in a different way, a slightly different way. So you could feel too that something is morphing, shifting, or changing in your work, in a role at home, in a role elsewhere. You could have moved. When you have Saturn and you're transiting your first house, a lot of any of the angles of your chart, partnership, home, career, any of those could be shifting or have shifted for you. Now that Saturn is turning direct, you're going to feel more movement, I think, Pisces. You're going to feel more like maybe clarity, maybe something you learned about boundaries, internal boundaries, you're now going to be applying in your external everyday life. The new moon in Scorpio and the full moon in Taurus, happening between the 1st of the month and the 15th of the month, are happening across your 9th and 3rd house axis. So this is the axis of our local environment, relationships with siblings, relationships with aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, landlords, tenants, mortgage companies, and so on, just anyone in your everyday life, relationships with the people you talk with at the grocery store, the people you have coffee with, all of that. That's where the full moon is happening for you. And then the new moon in Scorpio happened for you in your 9th house of expansion and higher learning and long distance travel, other cultures and visas. So both of these houses have in common communication, learning, publishing, our transactions with people, monetary transactions, and how we're reaching into new adventures, new horizons. how we're expanding, growing, learning, speaking, presenting, all those things, teaching. So this is where Pisces, you have been probably planting seeds, intentions for these areas. Some of you could have started some sort of writing or teaching or speaking thing, a gig or a project or something where you're putting your message out into the world. Or you started a new spiritual practice, or you made plans to travel abroad. Whatever it is, it all has to do with your own expression and your own expansion, creatively, spiritually. The full moon, for some of you, could have been healing. You could be healing a relationship that is connected to family, sibling, aunt, uncle, cousin, a neighbor, or someone else that's like a soul friend to you, soul sister, soul brother. Pluto moving into Aquarius, that is happening for you for the next 20 years. Pluto is going to be in your 12th house. Beautiful Pisces, this is a deep, deep, transformational, skin shedding transit, especially if you have planets or points in that 12th house. You will transform something during this transit. You may have past life awarenesses. You may go through what we call an ego unraveling. You may clear childhood trauma or ancestral lineage kinds of trauma. You may find yourself over the next 20 years at some point going through what we call an underworld transit, where we become very aware of where we feel powerless. We reclaim our power, we rise from the ashes, and we become a brand new person, more comfortable in our own skin than we've ever been before. I think that a lot of you will have, if you haven't already, you will have really intense, deep dreams. You will maybe do lucid dreaming. You will find a part of you and integrate it into your everyday beingness. A part of the shadow, which can be light or dark, you will awaken to it, discover it, integrate it, and you will be a whole new person that you will love. Not that you don't love yourself now, Pisces, but a whole new soul essence of you will come online during this 20-year period, which is really exciting. This month, November 21st, zooming back in a little bit, the sun in Sagittarius will be transiting your 10th house of career. So you're going to be thinking more about career, life purpose, how you can express your passions. And it will make a sextile to that Pluto in the 12th house. So you could have a very positive, cathartic experience. You could discover a new purpose in your career. You could awaken to wanting to have your own business or wanting to have a more soul-aligned work or passion. And Mars in Leo is going to be transiting your 6th house of daily work. Also your physical health, your mental and your emotional wellness. So I think Mars in Leo moving through your 6th house, some of you, it's going to get you back to the gym or yoga. Some of you, it is going to increase your confidence and courage to make positive changes in your work life or in your diet or in your exercise. This is where you're probably going to be quite fired up, Pisces, or just more creative in your daily life. If you work at home, maybe you'll find ways to get your workouts in, or to do some fun spiritual practice or something else that you can infuse your daily life with more passion and more purpose and more confidence and just more delight. That's Leo energy. It's the inner child delight. Okay, so Pisces, let me now pull a card for you. Pisces. Your card is, the Moon Maiden, new beginnings, Pisces. This is very Leo to me because it's green energy, it's heart chakra energy. Leo's connected to the heart. It is calling all angels. You know that song, Calling All Angels? I'm not singing it right. But anyway, the full moon is highlighted here, so you could have a real sense of a brand new beginning during the full moon. It could be quite expansive for you. It could be very dreamy and floaty, as this card is. You could have a revelation during the full moon. You could open up to your own divine inner feminine energy around this full moon time. Whatever it is, you are headed for a brand new beginning. It's quite creative. It's very much connected to your heart. It's a heart opening, and it could be a creative heart opening. You could be saying yes to something in your own creativity that is very luminous to you. It creates more luminosity within you, and then you begin to beam that out into the world that much more. Beautiful Pisces. Call on your angels, talk to your spiritual self, romance your inner muse. If you feel or things are feeling a little dry for you right now, get my book, because I have a lot of practices in there for romancing your inner muse and deepening your connection to your angelic or spiritual helpers. And that is linked in the comments below. If you want to claim your new beginnings, beautiful Pisces, let us know. Claim it in the comments below. I would love to hear. Aquarius, Aquarius, beautiful Aquarius. Pluto's moving into your sign for good on the 19th of this month. This is pretty darn exciting. Aquarius, I want to tell you, first of all, the new moon and the full moon are happening across your 10th and 4th house axis, and that means that you are working on balance between your career and your home and family life, or you are wanting to shift something in your home, get a new home, change your home in some way, move some of you, or something that you are clearly desiring in career. Your goals, your dreams, your desires right now, they are happening on this 4th house, home, family, 10th house, career axis. And there is probably a balancing going on for you with both. Pluto will move into your sign November 19th, and it will transit your first house of identity, beautiful Aquarius risings, for the next 20 years. Those of you who have your rising sign or any other planets or points in your sign between 0 and 3 degrees, you will feel this most strongly between now and the end of 2025. This is very empowering transit, Pluto in your first house. Definitely for many of you, this will feel like an ego death, and that just means a part of you that feels powerless is being shed. A skin is being shed so that you can come more into your own power, your own sense of who you are, what you have to bring to life, to the world, what you have to receive from life and the world, feeling fully and wholly yourself, comfortable in your own skin as you never have before. That is one of the rewards of Pluto transiting your first house. The sun in Sagittarius this month, beginning the 21st of November, will be transiting your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains, your friends, your tribe, Aquarius. This is a very social area of your chart. This is also, what is your dream for your life right now? What would fulfill you most right now? The sun in Sag is lighting up that area of your life, and it will make a sextile to Pluto in your first house, which I think means you're going to feel more supported. You're going to maybe join a group. You're going to engage with a community. You're going to do more social media stuff. Some of you will start a social media platform if you haven't already, if that's the way that you put your work out into the world. But I think this is going to be, the last third of the month, you're probably going to feel very like, I'm ready to socialize more if you haven't done a lot of that yet. And you could meet a new friend or alliance that is transformational, ends up being transformational in your life in powerful, positive ways. Because Sagittarius energy does make a sextile to your energy, Aquarius, and that is your air lights and fans the fire of Sag energy, and it's really a beautiful combination. Mars in Leo is happening across from your energy in the 7th house, and this is you feeling fired up in your relationship life. Fired up, what does that mean? It could be an enhanced sexual drive. It could be conflict. It could be that you're super motivated to find a new partner or to deepen an existing partnership, whether business or romantic. Saturn is going to move direct in Pisces in your 2nd house of money, values, your self-worth, your deserving, self-love. So whatever you have realized while Saturn was retrograde, whatever you've realized internally, this is what is going to now be very on the surface for you to apply to your life. You are now going to integrate that. For some of you, that's boundaries around money. For some of you, that is a desire to, or a realization, okay, I want to and need to make more money, or I want to get a side gig, or I want to get a promotion. Where Saturn is transiting, we can sometimes feel restricted, like there isn't as much bounty, and that for you is in your second house of income. So some of you could have felt some restriction in income up until this point, but it could have caused you, if that was the case, to go inward and really realize that you could change your relationship with money. You could write a new story around money. You could increase your self-worth by doing more self-love practices, that kind of thing. So now that Saturn is direct, applying any of that, whatever you have deepened or learned, that could make you feel like, okay, I'm back in action again. And now I'm going to hold myself accountable to the things I want to do. I'm going to make a commitment to someone else who, maybe a partner in business, that kind of thing. But overall, it's going to enhance your material security. That is the second house. Okay, Aquarius, let me now shuffle for you and see what the cards have to say for you for the month of November. This really is momentous to have Pluto move into your own sign. And I do want to say too that when Pluto is conjunct your energy, sometimes it's very difficult things that happen, but other times you just feel that much more empowered. A lot of people have shared with me with Pluto in Capricorn. Capricorns have said, I loved Pluto in Capricorn. It was great for me. I, took on things that I wouldn't have taken on. I had successes that I wouldn't have had before. So it doesn't have to be painful, but sometimes it is, I have to say. Just depends on what it's activating, and it's a little bit more complex. It's what I can share with you when I look at your chart if you want to have a chart reading. Okay, so Aquarius, let's see what the cards have to say for you. Aquarius, your card is confidence in your magic. This is the alchemist. This is the magician's sword. This is saying whatever comes your way this month, you will be able to wield your sword of power, and you will be able to turn any dross into gold. Which, when I look at the sun in Sag sextiling Pluto in your sign, I go, yep. Yes, because that sextile is a solution. A sextile is an opportunity. A sextile is you manifesting what you need to enhance your life. Beautiful Aquarius. So if you want to claim confidence in your own magic, let us know in the comments below. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, you are ready to celebrate, I bet. Celebrate good times. Come on. Capricorn, it's time to celebrate Pluto leaving your sign. I know, as I just mentioned in the Aquarius reading, I know that a lot of you Capricorns have been, what is all the fuss about? I've had an amazing Pluto and Capricorn transit. Some of you have, I know. Some of you have felt incredibly empowered by Pluto in your sign, and many others of you have had a lot of hard things happen. But now that the transit is ending, it is time to rise like the phoenix from the ashes. It is time to claim your karmic rewards from all the hard work that you've done, all the soul evolutionary work that you've done. It is time to have a party, beautiful Capricorn. Pluto is going to leave your first house, and it's going to enter your second house of earned income, self-worth, values. You are going to be applying whatever you learned during the Pluto and Capricorn transit in your first house of identity, roles, and the self. You're going to be applying that to matters of material security. That's what you're doing. You are taking all of that wisdom and you are setting boundaries when it comes to money. You are getting clear on what matters, what you value materially speaking and what you don't. Some of you will sell something. Some of you will move. Some of you will start a new business. Some of you will get a promotion. Some of you could retire. Like it could be anything, but Pluto going through your second house of money requires that you look deeply into what matters to you most now, and that you align your life with your values. The sun in and that's the next 20 years. The sun in Sagittarius is going to transit your 12th house. That's your inner truth. That's you awakening on some level to again, what matters most to you now. There's a theme here. Also, you may notice with the sun moving through your 12th house, this will depend, of course, on your own planets and points in your chart. If you have planets or points in the 12th house, then the sun will make aspects to those, and that will also bring a new sense of life force, a new light, a new awareness. The sun shining on something brings an awareness to whatever that planet stands for. Again, it's different for everyone depending on your natal chart. However, when the sun does transit your 12th house, which is rest and retreat and dreams, nighttime dreams, awakenings and so forth, spiritual practice, your divine connection. When the sun transits there, immediately when it lands in Sag, it's going to make a sextile to that second house Pluto. So you could get an epiphany. You could get have an aha moment that says, this is what I want to do to make money. This is how I'll feel more empowered in finances, that kind of thing. Or I love myself so much more than I realized. Here, you could have an awareness with the 12th house sun transit of something from your childhood that also transforms the way you think about your self-worth, your deserving, or money. The new moon in Scorpio and the full moon in Taurus for you are happening across the axis of your 11th and 5th houses. So you, Capricorn, may have planted seeds, intentions for friendship, new alliances, more support, more fun out in the world, fulfillment, a dream, travel perhaps that you want to do, long-term financial gains, a foundation for any of those things because that new moon made a trine to Saturn. And then the full moon is going to be in your 5th house of children, creativity, true love, and romance. Conjunct Uranus. So we have no idea what's going to happen. That's going to be maybe a bit discombobulating, maybe an epiphany, maybe a turn, can be a turn for the better. We don't know, but it will be surprising. Something surprising will happen that aligns you with your highest good, because it always does. It's always freeing and liberating. It just in the moment can be like, what? I wasn't planning on this. But we don't know. We'll have to see, especially for you, Capricorn, because you're going to get a trine from that Taurus full moon. So that's really nice energy. That is usually something falling in your lap that can be quite nice. It might be a really positive, sweet, sweet surprise for you. Some of you could meet somebody romantic. Some of you could have a lovely outing with a child. Some of you could get a new creative idea or finally feel very ready to start a creative project. Or maybe Uranus comes in with a bolt of its enlightenment to show you the way in your creativity. All of those are really cool things. Saturn direct in Pisces is happening in your 3rd house, and that is your everyday errands, your everyday, trips to work, commuting, going to the grocery store, your relationships with neighbors, landlords, tenants, relationships with siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins, soul sisters, and soul brothers. Something could be wrapping up for you here. You could be setting a new boundary. Whatever you learned over the past 4 months when Saturn was retrograde, it was more internal. A boundary you want to set, a commitment you want to make, holding someone accountable or holding yourself accountable perhaps. Now you're putting that into action with Saturn going direct. For some of you too, because the 3rd house is the house of writing, the message we put out, freelance work, some of you blogs and websites and so forth. Some of you could be taking action on something like that as well. You could be releasing a karmic relationship that feels complete to you, that is connected to the people that I mentioned a second ago. Okay, so let us see what the cards have to say for you now, Capricorn. A lot going on this month. It is a wild ride of a month, but it feels very substantial to me and very wonderful for building a new foundation, Capricorn, which you know all about. You're very good at that. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. And by the way, that Saturn energy in Pisces makes a sextile to your energy. So whatever it is, there's a solution, there's a workaround, there's something that is coming together for you. You just have to take the initiative. Seize the day, carpe diem, seize the moment, seize the opportunity, Capricorn. And your card is the Fates, sky riding. Something fated or karmic may happen for you, or this is a message that the fates are looking down on you. They're looking away. I don't think there's anything high, low. We always say it that way, right? Bring it down from the heavens. You know, we were just taught that the heavens and all of that stuff is up there, but that's obviously a human concept. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that the fates are shining on you. There is a positive fated encounter, moment, relationship, something fated or karmic will come to fruition for you this month. It's a number 4. When I reduce 49, it's a 4, and that is very structural, foundation related. Important to your physical life, important to your material security, I feel. Put your desires out into the world. That's how I interpret skywriting. Write your dreams, hopes, wishes on in the stars, in the sky. Write it down. Put it out there. That way you connect to the energies that are meant to come in. Also, the fates can be soul contracts completing, but it can also refer to something destined that's coming in for you, that feels soulmate-ish, that feels really lovely and mystical and magical. And there's a lot of blue throat chakra. There's some purple crown chakra, but there's a lot of blue throat chakra. So some of you need to have a conversation. Need to, as in it will help you come to closure, come to some sort of inner karmic reckoning is what I'm getting. It will help you to complete a situation, a job, a relationship. It will help you come to peace, peaceful closure is what I'm getting. So Capricorn, if any of this resonates, leave me a comment. I would love to hear. You will inspire all of us. My beautiful friend, thank you for joining us for this November astrology video. Thank you for liking this video, for giving it a thumbs up, for your comments, for your shares, for your subscribe. They really help support the growth of the channel. If you would like to know how this November astrology and any long-term transits that are happening for you as well are activating your natal astrology chart, if you're ready to move forward, if you want clarity, if you need direction, if you feel lost in space, so to speak, go to my website, check out my astrology consultations. We can do a life purpose, a heart's desire, a natal chart, or a relationship synastry reading. I offer 90-minute astrology consultations for those of you who like a little bit of coaching in addition to your astrology reading. Or you can book a clarity coaching session on my website as well. Go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me, and you should get a sense of whether you feel called to work together. I look forward to meeting you on Zoom. If you'd like to receive my free gift, a free instant download, it's a soothing guided meditation. It will connect you to your divine guidance, to your unconditionally loving spiritual presence, spiritual source. If you'd like to get this, go to my website, subscribe for free to my inspirational astrology updates, and you will get that instant download at the same time. My beautiful friend, let me know how you are feeling about these November astrology transits. They are deep, they are intense. The Sag energy is going to lift us up. It's going to be so invigorating, I believe, and inspirational. However you are feeling the transits, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear, and until my next video, I am sending you all my love.